Hey there, you future visionaries. My name is Tembi Buthelezi, and I am the Chief Visionary Officer of Future Gen Leaders. Welcome to Future Gen Leaders magazine, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so happy that you're here. Truly, I'm really happy that you're here. I find that a lot of us really want to live our dreams. We really want to live our dreams. If you've I mean, I've been updating the magazine and putting out a lot of content on the magazine. If you've just heard a little bit of my story, I grew up in a one-car garage. I used to sleep on a concrete floor till I was 17 years old. I ran away from home when I was 17, and if you kind of like read or heard my life story, which I don't really tell that much because it doesn't mean that it has no relevance, but it has no power over my now, right? So many of us sometimes have come from very tough backgrounds. I came from the ghetto, right? And we come from tough backgrounds, or we might come from really good backgrounds, and then we have a great life experience, we have great family, we go to school and everything goes well, and then we're in the work world and we're in business, and then all of our challenges start. So I think life is fair to everyone. Life is really fair to everybody. Sometimes you have to learn your lessons later in life. Sometimes you have to learn your lessons earlier in life. It depends on the circumstance that you were born in. I was born during apartheid, right? So I grew up during apartheid. That was the toughest time of South African history. It was really the toughest time. And, the apartheid was kind of coming to an end. So sometimes when I see what's going on in the US and all of the crazy, and everybody's so miserable and everybody's so scared, I realize that it's kind of like the end times when I was in South Africa, where there was more turmoil than there was, even though there was still racism, right? Towards the end is when everything kind of feels heavy. Everything feels scary. Everything feels dark. And you're like, am I going to die by a terrorist attack? Or am I going to die because I'm going to be hungry living on the street? Or how am I going to die? So death is a very, very sensitive subject. For a lot of us, death is very, very it's a very sensitive subject. My grandmother's death was the catalyst for me to choosing to die consciously. What does that mean? If I decided truly to look at the fears that I have in my life, no matter how much you've accomplished in life, there is still more to grow, and there's still more growth, right? There is always more growth. It doesn't matter how much you've achieved in life, there is always more growth. And when it's time for you to grow, we all get scared. It is normal. It is human nature to get scared when it's time to grow. So when I left home at 17, I knew that it was time to grow. It was kind of like an initiation call. It was kind of like your life is now about to begin. So I quit high school and I wanted to learn how to take care of myself. So I went and worked in a call center. And that was the time I had to learn how to die to anything that made me believe that I couldn't. So firstly, I didn't have a high school diploma. And in South Africa, if you don't have a high school diploma, you don't really have very many options. You could be a prostitute. I was like, oh my God, I don't like men that much. And people who stink in their bodies, no, I don't want any penises inside of me. No, thank you. You could be a domestic worker. I don't want to clean people's toilets. I was like, I'm too fancy for that. Not that there's anything wrong with people who clean toilets, but I had something in me that said, I am more than this. It doesn't matter what happened in my past. I must use my past to make the future generation of leaders. And I didn't even have the wording for this when I ran away from home. But I knew that my life story and all of the struggles that I went through must make a difference. So I didn't have the opportunity to just give up. I had to die to everything that said I'm not good enough. I had to die to everything that said, oh, you don't have a high school diploma, so you can't go and get a job. Yeah, I didn't tell the truth sometimes. Like my first job was at a research company, and it was mainly for students. It was mainly for students, college students. I didn't need to lie about that. So it was all college students that worked at this place, and I learned how to speak to people on the phone. So I worked at this research company where I used to just dial and call people every single day and just ask them about like silly products that they use in their homes. But I learned the importance. It wasn't actually silly. At 17 years old, I learned the importance of research. How to find your ideal target market in business, how to serve that ideal target market by asking them questions that trigger in their own minds their own wording of how they would like to have you sell them the product of your company. It's genius. When you can learn how to do this, you will never have problems with clients. You will never. Because working at the research company taught me that without proper research, even if you start a business, if you don't know who your ideal customers is and you can't tell their pain and you don't know what keeps them up at 3 o'clock in the morning, how do you expect to sell somebody anything? You're a narcissist. That's true. Only it is. You're a narcissist and your business is not going to work. Our businesses, the reason why we have businesses or the reason why we choose to be leaders in companies is so that we can use our experiences, all of the life experiences that we've had to nurture other people, the younger generations. In our businesses, we use our experiences, our painful experiences, our powerful experiences, our pleasurable experiences, to incite vision in the people that we work with and for our customers. Because if you truly want to have long-term customers, like look at how everybody loves Mac. It took me 12 years to go, okay, finally I'll buy a Mac. But now that I have a Mac, I love it. Why do I love it? Because I can go to the Mac store and talk to everybody. I love to talk to people. I don't know, I'm South African. I love to go out on the streets and talk to people and say, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, lovely dress. And the reason I stopped buying PCs was because there was not that interaction, that community feel was not there. And you can't go to anybody, people, rude people when you call, like, I had a doll. When you call doll, they are rude to you. You don't understand what the people are saying. Sometimes they're in the Philippines, sometimes they're in India. You don't know who you're talking to. There's no human connection. And this is what we need the most. This is truly what we need the most for our businesses to succeed. This is what we need the most for us to be effective leaders in the workplace. This is what we need the most to have peace of mind. And to really live your purpose, you must die. You must die to everything that you've thought about yourself that says you're not good enough. Everything that you've thought about yourself that says you're not smart enough. You must die to everything. Okay? You must die by death by design, so you can live your right life in blissful ecstasy. The art of dying fearlessly to lies that faith tells you. So when I go through a very challenging time, whether it's change or because when I ran away from home, I'll tell you why. When I ran away from home, I knew that it was time for growth. It was time for change, right? So I went from living at home to 17 years old going, okay, the adventure must start now. And I am responsible for my adventure. My parents were not responsible for my adventure. My parents did the best they could. They gave me the best life they could. And, I had to start my adventure. Yes, the initiation into the start of my adventure was not pretty. It was abuse, right? It was like my dad beating me. I'm like, oh my God, why would anybody do that to their child? But my dad did the best he could. He did the best he could. He was like, you know what? I'm preparing you for the world. The world is very tough. This is the best lesson I can give you because I'm stressed out myself. I've got my own damn problems and you are like little Miss Mouse wanting to find out everything about life. Go and learn. So I ran away from home, and that was my initial adventure. And then after that, I was like, I'm not going to the other options don't work. Like, I don't want to clean toilets. I had to make a choice at that time. So I had to die to the ideas that I don't have a high school diploma, but these options don't fit me too well. I don't want to. So I said, what do I have? What do I have to work with here? Because if I run away from home and I don't have a job, eventually I'm going to have to go home, and my dad's going to beat me some more. I said, no, I need to make a choice here. Prostitution ain't going to work for me. I'm not so sexy. No, I don't want any of that. And I don't want to clean toilets. So what else do I have? I need to learn how to sell. If you want to be a successful CEO, you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you want to be a successful leader, you need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to find your ideal client, or the ideal people that you serve, your business product or service serves. You need to know the intimate problems so that you don't come off it as a narcissist. My product is good, my product is good, my product is good. But you come from a place of service, true service. That's how true entrepreneurs succeed. Like true visionaries like Apple. Steve Jobs said, I will always buy an Apple now. Why? Because the level of customer service is so incredible. Every part of the experience of being a Mac user is so incredible because he knows his customers so well. And he was willing to, Steve Jobs is a visionary. I don't like to worship people or, stuff like that. But dude, he got fired from his own company and went and took mushrooms. I don't know if that's the whole story. I read his biography, and I watched a lot of the biography movies after his biography came out. And to be willing to leave your company and go and learn calligraphy, what did calligraphy have to do with anything that he was going to build? But calligraphy taught him a different skill, a skill where he could think about life from a different perspective. That's why it's important to be an artist. You must develop some kind of art, because when you develop a kind of art that is personal and meaningful to you, whatever, maybe it's singing, maybe it's playing the guitar, the piano, maybe it's dancing, do something that engages your right brain, because every time you do something that engages your right brain, you find that you learn a lot about business that you wouldn't learn from a business textbook. I found that because I can paint, and I grew up in art school, sometimes when I can't solve a business problem with my left brain, I will go into meditation, and then I'll start doodling, and I'll color in. I have a color book, and I'll color in, or I'll dance, or I'll go hiking, or I'll do something that gets me out of my comfort zone. And when I come back, the answer to what I was trying to figure out by sitting at my table and wasting 50 hours trying to figure out something, the answer is there. The other time I went to the play museum, and when I went to the play museum, I recognized that children love to be happy. That is their natural state. It got me wondering, why is it as adults we're so miserable? Because we've forgotten how to play. That's it. We've forgotten how to play. My mother's a school teacher. When I watch her children play, I realize that there is joy in simplicity. So we've got to die to the idea that we can't play. We've got to die to the idea that play is stupid. We've got to die to the idea that you've got to be serious all the time. You're going to die of a stroke with your seriousness. It's going to kill you. Don't do that to yourself. Laugh. Look at children, they laugh. And when you can't do it for yourself because sometimes you're so stressed out, life can get stressful. As a CEO, as a leader, life will get stressful. It doesn't matter if you're a 34-year-old leader or a 65-year-old leader. When life starts getting stressful, you know what that's like. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want to kill yourself. So we all need help. And what I found is when I'm stressed out, and I'm really, really stressed out, because when I was working on Wall Street, I used to get so stressed out. And when I started the hero's journey and I ran away from home, sometimes I'd be stressed out not knowing how I was going to pay my rent, because I was working as a telemarketer, and I said, oh my goodness, sometimes I make money, sometimes I don't make money. So I started working at the research company, and after about 6 months, I'd learned, so to actually sell and have a thriving business, you actually need to know the idea, like what is it that your customer really wants. Then I saw another job in the newspaper, and it was to sell stock market programs. I said, my God, this is wonderful. I will take this job and I'll make more money. That was actually kind of my life's purpose and my life's destiny leading me along the way. But if I had believed that, because I don't have a high school diploma, I ran away from home in South Africa, there's not a lot of jobs, and you must suffer if you don't have a high school, if you don't have education or a college education, I wouldn't have ended up on Wall Street. I wouldn't, because I just said, okay, I don't have a high school diploma, but I can sell, I can talk on the phone, I can do that. I can talk on the phone and I can sell on the phone. I can sell anything on the phone. I just had that confidence because, sometimes you have to just trust yourself. You really have to trust yourself. And when you can't trust yourself, say a little prayer. Here's the prayer I say when I can't trust myself, or I'm going through my own stuff and I'm needing to die to my old beliefs that hold me in fear. This is what I say. Dear life, I'm willing to die consciously by design so I can come face to face with my soul's destiny. Fate keeps calling my name. Thembi, be mediocre, play safe, seek others' approval so you can feel good about yourself. Be an imposter so you can get people to value you. Tell little white lies so you can make others comfortable. But destiny has a funny way of showing up. Most of the time, destiny shows up through painful experiences. Sometimes it's through grace, and more often than not, destiny only shows up when I'm at my wit's end and on my knees, wishing that life would just stop flowing through my body. Then the magic happens. Surrender. Thanksgiving for the lessons, peace, joy, and oh my God, ecstasy. Then it hits me. Life is eternal. No death, no birth. I know that if I don't die consciously by design to the tricks that fate keeps putting in my way, I'll have to come back and redo the lessons. I've been in spiritual special ed for way too long. I'm ready to die by design to the limited version of myself. I'm grateful I get to co-design my deaths. And even though my faith is a little weak, I'm trusting that you'll hold my hand every step of the way as I surrender more and more to the magnificence that lives in me. And so it is. And so it is. Sometimes you need something else but your mind. You need your heart. Because sometimes our minds can trick us to believe that we can take on the whole world and the whole world's problems. And then we take on other people's ideas and beliefs about life. And then we get overwhelmed and we get confused. In those moments of confusion, when you are so limited and you can't see and everything is going wrong, you need to open up your heart. Say a prayer. There's nothing wrong with saying prayer. It doesn't make you weak to say a prayer. It actually makes you stronger because you know that you've reached your wit's end and you need divine guidance. For a man to say, I am at my wit's end, that means you have exhausted all your knowledge. Good for you. That means growth is about to happen. That means the next level of your evolution is about to happen. But if you're still struggling out there trying to figure it out yourself, and you are not even willing to do a prayer because you're still trying to use your mind to figure out the truths of nature, the truths of life, you're not ready for a new life. You're just talking about a new life. So when you've reached your wit's end, just say a prayer. It's very powerful and it doesn't make you weak. And then once you've said a prayer, as my mother would say, pray and move your feet. Here is a 52-week Death by Design challenge. You can do 7 days if you want. You can do one a week. I encourage you to do one assignment a week. If you do one assignment a week, it will really help you anchor in everything that you want to have and experience in your life and let go of the things that scare you. If you want to travel, I was talking to one of my friends and I said to her, you should come and visit me in Africa. She says, what if I die on the airplane? I said, but that idea is so unfounded. It's so irrational. Have you actually heard yourself? And she says, thank you for that. I know it sounds crazy, but I've never heard anybody repeat it back to me. So because I'd never heard anybody repeat it back to me so I can hear how crazy I sound, now I'm actually willing to explore the possibility of getting on a plane because I've always wanted to go to Africa. So this is the power of having a community. This is the power of having friends that are not going to let you just slide. This is the power of having an inner circle of people that are going to hold your greatness and not people that are going to want you to constantly be complaining about what's wrong in your life and how your life sucks and all of this stuff. Those kinds of people are not good for you. You must not hang around those people. Save yourself. You have a right to have everything that you want in life. But sometimes the journey is lonely. Why? Because there's a lot of people at the bottom. Because it's very scary to change. It's very scary to change. And some people will not change. They will talk about change, but they will not change because you know what? It's scary to change. But here's the thing. Life will force you to change, either through a divorce, either through a terrible breakup, either through financial, loss. Something will happen in your life and it's life just beautifully saying to you, hey, you are living a mediocre life. Look at how big you can get. Okay, so here's your 52-week design. And usually when I give Death by Design, usually when I give my clients or my students this assignment, it scares them a bit because it forces them to use the right side of their brain. And I don't tell them what the assignment is. They need to come up with the assignment. So I really challenge you to do this. My dad actually taught me this assignment. He didn't put it in this way. I just went and found truths, like truths of nature, so that when I get scared about doing something, I can go outside into nature because that is the only teacher that is real. Yes, you can get truth from books, you can get truths from church, and you can get truths from, your friends. But when you actually test it against real truth, not facts, but real truths, you will find that most of the beliefs you have are not very supportive beliefs. They are beliefs that make you self-destruct. Okay, so let me just explain this process to you, and then I'll go into the lessons. I always start with qualities, right? So if I'm experiencing a bit of financial problems in my business, or cash flow roller coaster, every CEO experiences this. Every human being experiences cash flow problems at times. There's nothing shameful about it. It's just what it is. But what you do in reaction to the stress that you feel when life is telling you every stressful situation you have, every problem you have in your life is because you are looking at life from a very limited perspective. That's the only thing. When you can let go of the ideas that you have and trying to control life and trying to tell Mother Nature how Mother Nature should be as your life, you realize you are crazy because firstly, you can't even control the sun. When the sun wants to rise, it rises, and when it wants to set, it sets. When you put food in your mouth, you don't know how to digest that food. Intellectually, you do, but you don't actually know what digests your food. You don't know how your body works. Your body is nature. So I like to test my ideas. Sometimes if I have a fear and I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Let me tell you a story. So last year I was in this mastermind, and this mastermind was very impactful mastermind. I was in a mastermind with a group of guys, and I was the only girl in the mastermind. So and the guys were like, oh, we love the feminine energy. And I'm like, I only love to work with men anyway. So especially like on a very deep personal level, I like to work with men because that's where I found my forgiveness work, and I found where my dysfunction was living and how much pain I had around kind of like masculinity and how much anger I had, and I had to do a lot of inner work and say, okay, let me look at myself, because clearly there's something dysfunctional here about this energy. And I mean, if you just read some of my stories, you'll know. I mean, I don't tell them to be a sob story. I tell them because I've learned so much from every painful experience. I've learned more from painful experiences than the lovely experiences, because when you're having lovely experiences, you're just coasting, you're not actually growing. When the pain comes, that's when you start growing for reals, because you have to now start saying, what are my values? What do I really believe in? When you have no money in your bank account, you have to say, am I more than this? Or is this just my life? Is this my lot in life? Or is there something in me that can overcome this? And where can I get proof that something in me is real, and I'm not just doing affirmations? I'm rich. Oh my gosh, I'm rich. That makes you sad, because if you keep praying and nothing happens, if you keep going to church and tithing and nothing happens, if you keep, doing your work and nothing happens, you get despondent. Eventually you get very despondent and you get angry. So when you are in that place of anger, or life is squeezing you, either through a divorce, either through loss of a parent, either through loss of a spouse, either through loss of business, what life is asking you to do is that you need to look at your own life from a different perspective. Not from the perspective of, why is everything happening to me so bad? Life is so horrible. But life is asking you to look at your life from a different perspective of, how can I use this that is happening in my life to not only learn and grow from this, but also to teach other people how to learn and grow, because we all have the same problems. In the end, we all have the same problems. They just show up differently, but we all are trying to achieve the same thing. Wake up to how powerful we are. That's it. So for me, I go out into nature and I say, nature is abundant. Nature is peaceful. Nature is in order. The sun rises at a certain time and it sets at a certain time. I've never seen trees fight. So nature is peaceful. Nature is abundant. Have you seen how, like, an orange tree doesn't say during the recession, oh, I'm only going to produce this much amount of oranges because human beings can't buy oranges? No. If you look at an orange tree, it produces so much oranges, it doesn't care whether it's a recession or it's a stock market is rallying. It doesn't care. It just does what it is. So when you look at nature, fundamentally in nature, everything that you see in nature that is true is fundamentally true in your life. You just need to see. You need to see the silver lining behind the dark cloud. Nature is powerful. Look at the ocean. Look how powerful the ocean is. Nature is beautiful. Nature is intelligent. Nature is creative. Look how beautiful the birds are. Look how beautiful an orchid is. Do you know an orchid? Nature is whole. When you look at nature, the birds don't starve. They know where to go in the summer. It's whole. It's complete. There's nothing missing in nature, right? So nature truly is peaceful. When you go and, like, it doesn't matter how stressed you are. Go and sit outside by a stream. Really, just go sit outside by a stream for 1 hour. You will come back. You will feel so good. Because and here's the secret behind this. How you feel is your truth. So if somebody says to you, you're a fucking stupid idiot, it makes you feel like what? It makes you feel like crap. It doesn't make you feel good. So that means it is not your truth. It is that person's truth. It is not your truth. And if you're doing that to other people, guess what? Now we see what your truth is. That's what you say to yourself. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. So then now we know why you're a fucking idiot and you're crazy. Because if you can say stuff like that with your mouth to another person and hurt another person in that way, now we see the dysfunction in your own head. You have now exposed yourself. You have exposed who you are. And if nobody is respecting you at work and you wonder why as a CEO nobody respects you, or as a leader at work nobody respects you, it's because you say stuff like that. So how can you respect a person who says that to themselves? You can't. But it's not even the truth. It's a lie. All these things that you say to yourself that hurt you, that make you feel less than, that make you question yourself and doubt yourself and beat yourself up. All of those things are a lie. They are a big fat lie. Put them down. They are a lie. They are a lie. You know how you know if something is a lie? When it doesn't feel good in your body. You're like, oh my God, that doesn't feel good. Because when you truly go and test what is true about nature, you will find when you go out into nature, you come back, you feel so happy, you feel so relaxed, because that is the truth of your being. 70 to 80% of your body is water. Go and sit by a stream. You will feel so amazing. You won't know yourself. But if you don't go outside into nature, you won't know the truths about you. You will constantly be living lies, and you wonder why you're just weak all the time. Nature is powerful. What is fundamentally true about nature is fundamentally true about you. You are nature. You live on this planet, do you not? Or do you live in Mars? No, you live on this planet, meaning everything in nature is your teacher. Nature is powerful. So if you're going around telling people all of your victim stories, all of your problems, and you acting like a victim, every time something goes bad in your life, you're just crazy, you're ranting, you're raving, you are saying that you are a weak person. That's what you're saying. And it's not true. That's why you have stress, because you're not living the truth. Your ideas about life are limited, right? Because if you go outside and really watch nature, even the boats, the ships are designed aerodynamically for nature. They respond to nature. Aeroplanes respond to nature. It's not the other way around. Nature responds to an airplane. No. Everything that is man-made subscribes to the laws of nature. Now, if you don't go outside and go and look at nature and learn from nature, you're going to learn from all these freaks running around saying they're selling leadership programs, and you're going to be crazy, because one day, no, you must discipline your employees. No, the next day, you must talk nicely to your employees. No, the next day, you must give millennials perks, all the perks they want. The next day, you must teach baby boomers how to work. You're going to go crazy. You are going to go crazy, because you don't even have a basis. What are your values? And how can you test that your values are true? If it's somebody else's values that you've borrowed and your values do not align with nature, your values are a lie. There's some element of a lie to those values, and they're going to wreck your life. And every time you have a big problem in life, it's because you are looking at life from somebody else's ideas about life and not the truth about life. Not the truth. Nature is abundant. Have you ever seen a bird starve? So if you're suffering or struggling with money, and we all go through this, me too. I am still a student at this work. I sometimes still forget that, no, the truth of my being. How did I leave home? Sometimes I have to remind myself. So I'm going to teach you how to remind yourself, because this stuff is important. If you don't know how to remind yourself, something's going to happen, right? You're going to lose your job. And if you lose your job and your whole identity and your whole self-esteem was tied to your job, or your whole identity or your whole self-esteem was tied to a business, and you lose that, and you forget that you are not a business, you are nature itself. What is true about nature is fundamentally true about you. You are going to lose your self-esteem, and then once you've lost your self-esteem, now somebody's going to say to you, here's a business deal. Like somebody say, oh, you can go make money in Africa. All of a sudden, now you're running off to Africa, chasing businesses that you have nothing to do with. Somebody says, oh, there's big business opportunities in the stock market. Now you're running off because you've forgotten who you are. You have forgotten that you are nature. What is fundamentally true in nature is fundamentally true about you. And you are going to start taking pills and all of this stuff, having sleepless nights, because you are looking at your life from a very limited perspective. You are not a job. You are not a job title. Every time you make anything outside of nature your truth, you are going to suffer. Because today they're going to tell you it's a red terrorist attack. Tomorrow they're going to tell you it's a green one. So you live under this constant fear. Like if you watch Fox News is a fucking crazy show. It's like it drives people crazy. Because one day they tell them that they're safe. The next day they tell them that they should be worried. People who watch Fox News can't control their own minds. They are puppets to, what is this show? It's like a clown show. Every day, something new. You can't live like that. You can't. You can't live like that and run a company. You can't live like that and actually be a productive citizen, because you need to have a mind that's in a state of equilibrium to be effective in anything that you do. So if Fox News says, oh, we're going to have a recession, and you actually go out into nature and say, but I've never seen birds starve, so I'll be okay. Something in me will give me an idea where I will still be able to survive whatever comes my way. That's more powerful than listening to Fox News. Because Fox News is going to drive you to drink. You're going to be so scared, you're not going to be able to do anything, because you're going to be afraid of everything. It's crazy. Okay, I kind of went off on a tangent, sorry. But really, this stuff is crazy. That's why people are crazy in America. But people are crazy all over the world because we listen to garbage. Fear, 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 fear. If you live listening to fear on TV all day long, reading fear, oh my God, you are going to be so crazy. You are going to have to take medication to calm your nerves, because everything is crazy out here in this world. Nature is intelligent. The birds know where to go in the spring so that they can be fed. Do you not believe that you have a mind that works properly, that you can, if you sit down and really think about what you want for your life, you can have a great idea that you can implement and you can get yourself out of any problem? If you don't actually go outside and say nature is intelligent. So if nature is intelligent and I am nature, that means I am intelligent. Everybody, they love to call themselves, I'm so stupid, I'm such an idiot. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel good when you call yourself that? If it does not make you feel good, don't do it. Why do we like to be so self-destructive? If something doesn't feel good, don't do it. Only do things that make you feel good. But I think we've been programmed that to have success, you must suffer. Suffer. So yeah, you suffer and you're 60 years old and you're dying of cancer and your children hate you. What was that all about? What was the point? What was the point? That belief, you must suffer, you must work hard, you must sacrifice everything, even your health, for money. And you're sitting there at 65 years old and you're on dialysis. Was that belief really worth it? To live by that belief and not question that belief and say, is this really true? Do birds struggle? But if you don't go outside and all you do is sit at home and watch Jerry Springer, I don't think people who are listening to this watch Jerry Springer, but you'd be surprised. And you don't actually go and test the ideas that people say they are leaders, but they have crazy ideas. I'm like, no, comrades, no. Go outside and really test what you believe against truth. Truth is nature. Nature, go outside. Nature is so beautiful. So if you are constantly saying just, oh, I'm so ugly, why would any woman want to sleep with you if that's the kind of self-esteem you have? Every time you look at a mirror, I'm so ugly, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly. Why would I want to sleep with you? Nobody wants to date a person with low self-esteem all the time. I'm so ugly, I'm so ugly. Tell yourself once how beautiful you are. Not from an arrogant perspective, but just encourage yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm beautiful. You might not find me beautiful, but I love me and I am beautiful, and I'm going to do the best I can to get my body into shape. I'm going to do the best I can to eat healthy. I'm going to do the best I can to dress as well as I can and to just love me, because the alternative, being on Tinder trying to find people to fill up this hole because you don't love yourself, because you can't even go out into nature. And look, when you go out into nature and look at the flowers, oh, they're so beautiful. They are so beautiful. When you look at the mountains, so beautiful. So beautiful. And then you see how insignificant your problems are. You see how insignificant the crazy in your head is. And then you start coming to a balance and you say, you know what, I'm kind of crazy. Look at nature. But we don't go outside. We sit at home, watch TV. Nature is in order. Nature is creative and whole every day, no matter how I feel. Look at these flowers. They're beautiful. No matter if I feel angry, if there's a recession, there's a boom in the stock market, nature is just beautiful. So if you are nature, the truth of your being is that you are nature, and your life is not this stuff. And I don't think anybody's life is fully any of this, except if you like kind of Buddha, sat under a Bodhi tree and you kind of like had enlightenment. All of us are doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can. So with that, you have to understand that this is a process. It's taken you 50 years. If you're 62 years old, it's taking you 62 years old to have these stanky thoughts. I'm not good enough. Nobody will ever love me. I'm not perfect. All of this nonsense that you believe about yourself, which is not even true. It's just a fucking lie. You believe it. Oh, come on. Stop. You are perfect. Honestly, you are perfect. Stop believing the stuff that hurts you. If it makes you feel awful, unless you are a crazy person and you just like to martyr yourself and mutilate yourself, and I have met people like that. I run away from those people because they hate themselves so much that they will destroy you because they want to destroy themselves. You better run from people like that because they hate themselves. And it's very sad. Some people have had very traumatic childhoods and they couldn't get over their traumatic childhoods. But if you let those people into your life, they will destroy you too because they can't get over their childhood. And there's grown men. Look at Donald Trump. He's a wounded 6-year-old. He probably needed his dad's love and his dad didn't love him. Now he's crazy. Oh, we have to have mercy and compassion for these people. Everybody has got pain. We all have pain. I have pain too. But doesn't mean that because I have pain, I must come and inflict my pain on you. I must sit at home by myself and die to these things that leave me in pain. This is what healthy leaders do. Not inflict pain like Kim Jong-un, always making people live in fear. That's not leadership. You're a tyrant if you're doing that. That's not nice to do that to other children, okay? But that's being nice. But that's being an imposter. Let's just call it what it is. You're not a leader. You're a fraudster. You're a tyrant. But if we want to be nice about it, let's just say you're not being nice to other kids. You wouldn't like somebody to treat you like that. So why do you treat other people like that? You see what I mean? So anything that hurts you, any belief that hurts you, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I didn't achieve enough, it's not true. It's a lie. Somebody told you that lie. Put that lie down. I'll teach you in the next video how to change these self-destructive thought patterns in a very gentle way, where you don't have to kind of like overwhelm yourself with goal thinking and affirmations and all of this rah stuff that sometimes doesn't work. Okay, so let me help you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you at video number 2. Bye.